Hello.
So you had some nice words for Congressman Schiff last night.
Yeah, yeah.
Criticized him many times before
Yeah.
and everything.
So what I said, thought he's well spoken, did a good job of creating a tapestry, taking bits and pieces of evidence and emails and giving a rhetorical flourish, making the email come alive, sometimes effectively, sometimes a little over the top. But quite frankly, I thought they did a good job of taking bits and pieces of the evidence and creating a quilt out of it. So what I will tell my colleagues is the other side gets to talk and see if they can pull a thread here and pull a thread there and see if it holds up. But the thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the Biden connection. I don't know how many times it was said by the managers that the Biden conflict of interest allegations has been debunked and has been, there's no scintilla of evidence in terms of conflicts of interest and potential wrongdoing. I know a lot about the Trump family and their dealings in Russia. I don't know anything about the Biden connection to the Ukraine. So when the managers tell me this has been looked at and debunked, by who? So that's becoming relevant because they talked about it almost 50 times that the president had no reason to believe that anything improper occurred in the Ukraine with the Bidens, and he was just out to create a political advantage. The question is, will that withstand scrutiny? The point of fact is that nobody, particularly in your business, has done much looking at what happened in the Ukraine with Hunter Biden. You're going to hear more about that, and I'll tell you more tomorrow. So I supported Mueller's ability to investigate the president's campaign and pretty much everything Trump, because I didn't know what they were up to and if they did have any connections with the Russians. 2 years later, I'm good to go. Somebody other than me looked at the Trump campaign. Nobody has looked at what's happened in the Ukraine. So in 2014, Joe Biden's given the Ukraine portfolio by President Trump. It's a notoriously corrupt place. Within a month of being given the Ukrainian portfolio, the vice president's son is hired by Burisma, one of the most corrupt companies in the Ukraine, at a fairly exorbitant salary. They also, Burisma, hires John Kerry's stepson, and on and on and on. The point is that the prosecutor, who I think was corrupt, opened up a case in May of 2014 against Burisma, raided the president's home, Burisma's president's home, in February of 2016, and 6 weeks later, 7 weeks later, was fired. In 2015, the president of Burisma, Solcheka, was named by our ambassador as somebody Ukrainian prosecutors should look at for corruption. The person who followed the fired prosecutor dropped the case against Burisma. I don't know. Doesn't pass the smell test to me. Why are you paying Hunter Biden? You can say they're corrupt, but they're not stupid. Does it make sense to hire the son of the guy in charge of the portfolio for the American government? And from the time they raided the president's home, Joe Biden called the president of Ukraine 4 times, got on a plane, and said, if you don't fire this guy, you don't get the $1 billion. I love Joe Biden, but I can tell you if the name was Trump, there'd be a lot of questions asked. So what I want out of all this, I want the public to understand that the claims they're making that there's no there in Biden's, nobody's looked, somebody should, and I've looked, and I've got a lot of questions. Were they buying insurance by hiring Hunter Biden? Because they sure as hell wasn't buying expertise.
Senator Graham, does that mean you want to
Yes,
hear from the
I will.
Chuck Schumer today said,
it may have planted the first seed in their minds that perhaps the president did something very wrong here. Is that seed planted in your mind or any other Republicans' minds?
So let's hear from what the other side says. Did they selectively take testimony of witnesses to tell a story, which I thought was